Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. 5,593 pages. Yes, 5,593 pages. That is the that is the length of the document of the new law, the new stimulus bill. Now I'm going to jump right to the unemployment benefits portion of the stimulus bill. Keep in mind that this stimulus bill just emerged in the past few minutes, and so I'm going to break this down for you and give you the highlights of this stimulus bill. Now, keep in mind the House and the Senate are expected to vote on this today, and this could go late into the night. So, the House and the Senate are going to vote on it today, and we could expect the House and the Senate to be working late into the night to get this passed, and we do expect the President to sign it promptly. And this is the information that is going to be important to many of our viewers and subscribers. Okay, so here's where things stand. Let's just jump right in to this law right here. And by the way, I went through this. I quickly went through some important sections here, and I'll break it down for you. So, number one, if you want to see this bill for yourself, you will find the link to the entire bill in the description section below. So that's number one. Number two, the portion that is relevant to unemployment benefits starts at page 1928. You're welcome. So, page 1928 is where the unemployment benefits section start. Keep in mind, I'm doing this with you live because I just saw this myself. So, I'm going to do the best I can to break this down for you. You can see this on my screen. Let's just jump right in. And This is a section of it's called Extension of CARES Act Unemployment Provisions, and this is essentially a new section of this bill. Let's just jump right into what it actually means. Hold on, I need to see. Yeah, okay, all right. So this chapter, which is a part of the new bill that has been released, this chapter is called the Continued Assistance for Unemployed Workers Act of 2020. So this is a chapter within the bill. It's called the Continued Assistance for Unemployed Workers Act of 2020. Now, by the way, for those of you who come in late to this, or for those of you who watch it later, go back to the beginning of the video and watch the video from the start. Okay, so let's just jump right in, and let me tell you the things that are actually important here. Let's see. Okay, so number one, let's take a look at this section here that talks about the pandemic unemployment assistance. I'm first going to cover the part about pandemic unemployment assistance. Okay, so that's what I'm going to cover first, the portion on pandemic unemployment assistance. The pandemic unemployment assistance will be extended, and what I'm showing here is no pandemic unemployment assistance shall be payable for any week beginning after April 5th, 2021. So the pandemic unemployment assistance program has been extended until April 5th, 2021. It was scheduled to end at the end of this year, at the end of December, but now it is extended until April 5th, 2021. Now, for the 1% of you who are going to freak out and say this is not going to pass the House and the Senate and the President isn't going to veto it, you're wrong. This is going to pass through the House and the Senate, and the President has already indicated his willingness to sign it. So let's talk about what this law entails. The PUA program will be extended until April 5th, 2021. Okay, so the pandemic unemployment program, which was originally scheduled to last 39 weeks and end at the end of December, is going to last 50 weeks. So it's going to go from 39 weeks to 50 weeks. I'm talking about the pandemic unemployment assistance program right now. We will get into the $300 a week federal booster in just a second. So it's April 5th, 2021, and this will extend from 39 weeks to 50 weeks. For those of you who want to read the bill, you'll find a link to the description. You'll find a link to the bill in the description section below, and B, I'm at page 1929 of this bill. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me scroll down. There are some important sections here about overpayments of the pandemic unemployment assistance program, which is excellent news. I'll get to that in just a second. So I'm going to scroll down. Again, folks, this This came out minutes ago, okay? So this is important. Waiver authority for certain overpayments of the PUA program. Now, I want to give you folks some background. There were a lot of overpayments with the PUA program. Why? Because states made mistakes. In fact, let me come back here and give you folks an idea here. States made a lot of mistakes with the PUA program because it was rolled out very quickly. The ongoing certification requirements, which means the ongoing documentation requirements, were not as extensive as state unemployment benefits, were not as extensive as the DUA program, the Disaster Unemployment Assistance Program. Of the PUA program was modeled off the DUA program. The DUA program actually required ongoing documentation for you to continue receiving benefits, extensive documentation. The PUA program was designed to be much easier, much faster to roll out. As a result, there was a lot of fraud. As a result, there were a lot of overpayments, and individuals who had received money from the PUA program were asked to pay that money back because the states were not able to waive the PUA overpayments. Guess what? That's fixed with the new law. So the good news is, with the new law, that has indeed been fixed. And what you'll see here is waiver authority for certain overpayments of the PUA program in the case of individuals who have received amounts of pandemic unemployment assistance to which, let me zoom in for you guys. Is this better? You guys like this better? I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. Okay. So in the case of individuals who have received amounts of pandemic PUA to which they were not entitled, the states shall require such individuals to pay the amounts of such PUA back, except, now this is the important part, except that the state agency may waive such repayments if it determines that A, the payment of such PUA, the payment of the PUA was without fault on the part of the individual, and such payments would be contrary to equity and good conscience. What does that mean? As long as there was no fraud on the part of the applicant, and as long as there is a desperate need, or for the applicant to use that money and put food on the table, keep the lights on, pay rent, it is possible that states can now waive the PUA overpayments. Now, if you intentionally provided wrong information to get the PUA payment, guess what? That's fraud, and you should get into trouble for that. But if the payment was without fault on the part of the individual, and such payment, in other words, if there is the phrase here is good conscience, if there is an ethical case for the overpayment to be waived, then the states can waive it, which is good news for individuals who legitimately got the PUA money, and for individuals who were asked to pay back the money through no fault of their own when they desperately needed it. Okay, so let's continue this. Let's see. There are some other important sections here that I'll highlight. Now, again, keep in mind, this is a 6,000 page document, and I'm trying to highlight some things pertaining to the unemployment benefits in this document for you right away. So give me a moment. Okay, all right. So this talks about government and other federal agencies. All right, this is important. The PUC program, all right, this was a $600 a week federal booster. It was the $600 a week federal booster through the end of July. Now we have, okay, all right, first of all, originally the federal booster was until July 31st, 2020, right? Now it's going to extend 2 weeks of unemployment beginning after December 26, 2020 and ending on March 14th, 2021, okay? And the amount, which was previously, it was previously $600. Now the amount is confirmed by law. The amount, which again was previously $600, the amount is now $300. 4 weeks of unemployment beginning after December 26, 2020 and ending on or before March 14th, 2021, the amount is now $300. So that is the amendment that we have here. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. It's too big for me. And I'm going to scroll down and help you folks identify any additional important sections here. Extension of federal funding of the first week of compensable regular unemployment for states with no waiting period. This relates to the waiting period. Let's see. There were some other important sections that I wanted to show Again, the link to this entire bill is in the description section below, so you can definitely check it out. Let me see. And by the way, I just want to be clear. I would encourage all of you to take a look at this. This is what our elected officials have put together. So, you can feel free to type out, what about my situation? But guess what? You should take the time to read this, because this is something that they've put together. So take the time to go through it, because this is the guideline that your states will be following. Okay. So that would be my recommendation. So let's see what we have here is extension and phase out rule for the PEUC program. Yeah, so the PEUC program, which by the way is a 13-week extension, that it says beginning after the date on which, so the PEUC program has also been extended, and it has been extended beginning after the date on which such an agreement is entered into, which presumably is going to be today or tomorrow, and ending on or before March 14, 2021. Now, guys, there are going to be two types of analysis of this bill. One will be what's in it, what's in it, what's in it. And the second analysis will be that crucial date of March 14, that crucial date in the middle of March. Okay, now, what is going to happen in the middle of March? We will have President Biden. That's number one. Number two, what's going to be in the middle of March? We will have a Democrat-led Congress, a Democrat-led House, and they have a narrower majority in the House. But what's going to happen in the Senate? We don't know. Georgia will decide who controls the Senate. So, the control in the House and the Senate, and obviously President Biden at that time, could lead to more stimulus, because, and by the way, the Democrats have already said that they want to do more. So there are two guys. This is something I've learned in my life. Life is not always about seeking certain answers. Life is about asking the right questions. The wrong question to ask in this situation would be, what's in it, what's in it. The right question to ask would be, what happens on the 14th of March if I still need help? But I understand many of us need to just get through the here and now, but I'm giving you the big picture on our channel. So let's get back here. The PEUC program, the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, is also extended until the 14th of March. And this is important. In the case of any individual who is receiving PEUC but has not yet exhausted their rights, they are the ones who will continue getting the benefits until March 14th. And I believe there is, notwithstanding any provision, no PEUC shall be payable for any week after April 5th. So in other words, what this says is, if an individual is still going to continue to receive benefits, and I did allude to that earlier, they could get it until April 5th. But if your PEUC was scheduled to end at the end of this month, and you still had time left in your PEUC, it will continue until the 14th of March. Now, what happens if the 14th of March rolls along and you still had time on your PEUC? As long as you were still eligible, what the law says is you will get it up until the 5th of April 2021, but nothing after that. No PEUC after that. PEUC ends April 5th, 2021. So that 13-week period, it's designed to introduce some leeway there to provide the benefit to those individuals. Okay, let's see. There are some specifics about the coordination of the PEUC program with regular state benefits. There's some information here about eligibility and about the benefit year. Yeah, this was a big one. If an individual has been determined to be eligible for PEUC and the benefit year has expired, and if that individual still has eligibility for PEUC, that benefit would qualify for a new benefit year, in which this is important because this was not a provision in the CARES Act. So this actually allows more people. This is a wider safety net, everybody. That individual would qualify for a new benefit year in which the weekly benefit amount of regular compensation is at least $25 less than the individual's weekly benefit amount in the benefit year referred to earlier. So this essentially broadens the eligibility, if you will, for the PEUC program. So that's good, everybody. So this is, and obviously, specific questions have to be directed to your state. Um, the state shall be permitted. Just okay. Let me see if there's anything else that's relevant to you, to our viewers and subscribers. The state. Okay, so what are states required to do? States shall pay regular compensation equal to the weekly benefit amount, and then the PEUC compensation equal to the difference between that weekly amount and the weekly benefit amount. So there are some more detailed calculations here, and your state will essentially be making these calculations. If you guys want me to make specific calculations, I'll do another video later. But the purpose of this video is not, it's a 6,000 page bill intended to help millions of our fellow Americans. In this video, I'm trying to address the high level questions immediately. And, as far as your specific situation is concerned, you've got two options. Option one, go through the text of the bill. Option two, contact your state. Okay, I think that would be much better than just typing, what about my situation? Because everyone is now struggling to figure this out. But hopefully, this will give you a strong starting point, everybody. And yeah, these are the high points, everyone. Let me see if there's anything else that really jumps out for us. Just a moment. Special rule. There's a special rule for extended compensation at the option of a state for any weeks of unemployment beginning after the date of enactment of this paragraph and before an individual's eligibility period shall for purposes be considered to include any week. Okay, so this is saying the states have the ability to make an interpretation as to the determination of eligibility for extended unemployment during the extended benefit period. Okay, so so again, this gives more flexibility to the states to determine your eligibility period, but it is extending the PEUC program. It's providing PEUC $300 a week, and what it is doing is it is extending the PUA program. Let's see. Temporary financing. Yeah. So those were the high points, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. I really appreciate you, everybody. So, guys, this is a good starting point. Keep in mind, this bill just emerged. In the description section below, you'll find a copy of the bill. So make sure you go through the bill, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to explaining this to you folks in a little bit more detail, but I didn't want any of you to wait, everybody. That's why I decided to show you this immediately. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks.